Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Elizabeth. It's good to have you. Please consider subscribing and turning on your post notification bell if you are a crafter or just enjoy crafting videos. My goal at the moment is to have 2,000 of you lovely people subscribe to my channel. So please help me to achieve my goal so I can continue to bring you more crafting videos. Today I am sewing the Ethel Tote by Swoon. I'm making a few modifications. I am adding a slip pocket with a magnetic snap and also a zipper pocket with a zipper overlay, and I'm adding magnetic snaps to the main closure of the bag, and I'm only using one bag handle instead of two. And if you would like to see how I do this, stay tuned. Okay, so today I'm going to be sewing the Ethel Tote bag by Swoon Sewing Patterns. It is a free pattern and we love a free pattern, so go check it out. I think you can also sew this on your domestic sewing machine if you choose your fabrics wisely. So for example, if you choose a cotton for your exterior and your lining, I think you can do it, and it's quite a straightforward pattern, she says. Before she actually tackles the bag, but I've had a look at how it sews and it looks like it's going to be quite a straightforward pattern, so fingers crossed. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've made my strap because, yeah, we don't want to spend too long with this video. You know I sew really slowly, so we don't want to watch that. So I've already done this. If you want to see how I sew a strap, I have a video already on my channel. I'll link that in the description. We have, and I've used vinyl for this. It's grey, and this vinyl is quite thick. It's quite a sturdy vinyl. Right, for my slip pocket, so I'm going to have a slip pocket on the front of the bag. I'm going to be using this kind of textured vinyl, also in grey, and I've put my label on there. I've got a new way of making labels, so I'll probably bring out a video of how I made this, because at the moment I'm not able to get the fancy bag tags, but maybe soon. But these are quite fine. I think they look good. So yes, this is going to be my exterior slip pocket. So I have one of those in this textured grey vinyl, and then I also have in waterproof canvas, and this is my thick type, which sews really beautifully. I have 3 of those in the waterproof canvas. Okay, next I have my side panel. So I have my side panel here, and this is also waterproof canvas. I've got 2 of those, and then I've got my exterior side panel, and this has got fleece fused to the back, so I'm hoping it gives it a nice kind of like nice sturdy structure, and I have 2 of those. Next I have my main panel. So my main panel consists of two of the main panel in my exterior fabric, which is the, well, not really, I don't know, would you call vinyl fabric? I don't know. So vinyl, and they both have fleece fused to the back. Right, with my lining of my main panel, I have gone ahead and done a zipper facing. Is that right? Because I always get it wrong. Overlay. So this is my custom zipper overlay. I have a video on how I cut my overlay in the Cricut, so I will link that somewhere at the top. I'm not sure which side. Anyway, I'll link it at the top. So I've already gone ahead and done a slip pocket. It doesn't call for this, but I just wanted to put one in because I think the person who's going to receive this bag is going to appreciate it. It also doesn't call for any type of hardware, but I'm also adding some magnetic closures to the bag, and I've got 2 of those, and I've already installed them just to save time. I need to put some tape on the back to protect my my exterior from wearing if it rubs on here, so I need to get that done. So I've got that one, and then I've got another one here. So 2 interior lining, and then the final pieces are the bottom panel. So the bottom panel, we have the exterior fabric. With this one, I've got some Decaville fused to the back out of the seam allowance, and then I've also got some fleece on top of it, so to just make it a nice sturdy bag, so it kind of hopefully will stand on its own. And then I have the lining in waterproof canvas. I believe that's everything. Yeah, I haven't talked about the rest of my hardware. So obviously I have the male parts of this to install. I haven't done that yet. And then I've got another magnetic closure which I'm going to put on my exterior slip pocket, which is this one here. Yeah, so I thought it'd be nice to have, you know, be able to close it. So that's it. And I've just got some pieces of Decaville here, which I use to reinforce my magnetic closure. That's everything. Let's start. So I forgot to mention, the pattern does call for 2 handles, but I've chosen to only do 1. Because again, the person that this is for will appreciate just the 1 handle, I believe. Okay, so just the 1. And I've made it a little bit longer because, yeah, they would benefit from having a little bit of a longer strap. The pattern calls for, I think, 20 inch length, and I've done 30. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my exterior slip pocket and a liner. And this one is going to have the magnetic closure on there. I've marked 2 spots on there because I haven't decided where I would like it. So I want to put the 2 pieces together first before I decide what I'm going to do. So right sides together anyway. Right sides together, and we are going to clip that in place. Here we go. Slow coach. I'm going to fast forward this bit. You don't really want to see me move at snail's pace clipping these 2 together. I'm going to leave my stitch length at a 4.5 and my top stitching as well, because I guarantee I will forget to switch. So just to, and I think this vinyl's okay with it being at that length. Now I'm going to flip it right sides together. And you want to push it out so it matches up nicely like that. I'm going to add some clips to hold it. I have marked my centers on all of my pieces except the side panel and the bottom panel. It just makes life easier. So matching all of those. Okay, and now I'm going to top stitch at 1/4 inch also. I'm just looking at my stitching to see if I like it. Yep, it's fine. Right, now I think I'm going to add my magnetic closure and I'm going to put it right there. I think I'm going to go with the very top marking that I did on there, and I think that one was, I believe, maybe an inch down from the top. You can put it wherever you want, to be honest. So let me open it up. Okay, so I've got my tiny little cutting mat there. And what I do is I get the washer and I'm going to center that little dot that you can't see. Let's move you down slightly. Here we go. Right, so I center my dot that I had marked like that, and then I'm just going to draw the lines for my little slits. I mean, you could go ahead and just cut into it, but just to be on the safe side, I mark it, because knowing me, I'll probably cut it too big. Right, now I'm going to just cut not too big of a hole. Start off small, and if you need to make it bigger, then make it bigger. Right, I'm using the mill part of my magnetic post here. Magnetic snap, I should say. Right, so that goes in. Flip it over. Add the Decaville. This just reinforces it. And then the washer. And I'm going to fold it inwards like that. Okay, give it a little push down. I think that is secure. So I'm going to add tape. This is double-sided tape. You can use duct tape as well. That's helpful just to protect those prongs from rubbing on this and possibly wearing it away. It just acts as a buffer. So I'm actually going to put some on here as well. I don't think I need it on there, but I'm just being extra cautious for my rivets, because the rivets are quite rounded. I don't think it would really cause any problems. But there we go. That is our snap installed. Okay, I'm going to baste this closed. So let me just add some clips. Like that. And it says to baste it at 1/4 of an inch, but I'm going to go with 1/8. We're going rogue. We're going rogue, and I'm going to increase my stitch length to a 5.5, just because it's based in, and yeah, it can be at a longer stitch length. Okay, so that is that one done. So I'm going to do the other slip pocket now, the interior one. So again, it's going to be right sides together. And it's the same thing, where we're just clipping them together and then sewing across this curved top. So you just need to pay attention to this top bit when you're kind of putting it together, so it stays, because it doesn't want to roll together. You really need to press it into place, whichever fabric you're using, so it kind of has a nice edge. So now I'm going to baste the sides like I did before. So again, I am going rogue, and I'm going to do 1/8 of an inch basting. Aha! So I have run out of bobbin. So I'm going to just change my bobbin. Okay, and we're back. So I've changed my bobbin and I've finished basting around this interior slip pocket. Now I am going to add it to my interior main panel. Find the centers. together. We've started throwing clips. I need to launch clips. You just need to. Okay, so I'm going to baste this in place. And this time I'm going to baste at the seam allowance it calls for in the pattern. Okay, so that is our slip pocket basted. I'm going to divide this so it becomes 2 and not 1. That reminds me of a Spice Girl song. Showing my age now, I am showing my age. Okay, so I'm just matching up the centres, and then I'm going to draw a line to the top. Lovely jubbly. Right, now I'm going to sew this. So from the bottom to the top of this pocket, so it divides it in half. It tells you to do it on the exterior slip pocket as well, but I'm going to leave it as one piece. I don't know if I said that already, but I am. Okay, so that is our slip pocket. Now we have two slip pockets, and they're quite big. Right, I think this is the point where I'm going to, since I've got this panel already, I'm going to add the other sides of my magnetic snaps. So I'm going to now add the male part of my snap. So I'm just taking a washer, and those little marks that I've added, which I did earlier, I'm just going to use that as my guide. And this is 1.5 inches down from the top. That's where I marked. I mean, you don't have to put a closure. The pattern doesn't call for it, but I just think it would be nice to be able to close the bag. Okay, so let's move these out of the way. Put our little slits in now. Okay, so that's our magnetic closure done, or snap I should say. Let's see if it matches really well, if I measured correctly. Let's see. Yep, perfect, perfect. Okay. I love it when a plan comes together. Okay, so I can put these to the side. Okay, next I'm going to attach this. This blue mark is a pen that I can get rid of with heat. so I will do that later. Just make sure it's nice and flat. Okay, what I'm going to do with this one is, because I need to attach the female part here, I'm going to first of all match the centers of my pieces. And clip all around. Okay, now I am going to, let me just grab myself a marking tool. Right, what I'm going to do now is, now that it's all matched, I'm going to draw or scribble on this like that, and then press down, and that should transfer my placement for the snap. Yep, it has, you can see it. So I'll just unclip this and then get my other end of my closure. Center it. And then I'm going to cut. This pen is very inky, very inky. I need to give it a wipe before it stains everything. Oof. Okay. Right, now I'm going to cut the slits. Shouldn't cut too big. You can always make the slits bigger, but once you've made it too big, you're kind of screwed, basically. Okay, I think that should be okay. I need to wipe this pen off ASAP. Very inky pen. I mean, you do want an inky pen, but that was just too inky. Too inky. Right, let's get our snap in place. Oh, okay, I need to look for that now because I've managed to lose the washer and the snap. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Thankfully the washer was the magnet held it together, so I didn't have to look for two things. That would have been a disaster. Right, did I cut deep enough? No. So I need to cut a little bit deeper. The fleece is quite thick, so I need to make sure I've gone through enough. That should be it. Okay, so that is done. We have our closure. Just make sure it's pressed in really well. These magnets are really, yeah, very magnetic, which is again what you would want. I seem to be in a complaining mood today. Inky pens and magnets. What's the world coming to? Anyway, I'm being silly. Right, I'm going to baste this on now. And I will baste this at its what the pattern calls for anyway, which is a 1/4 inch, because the final seam allowance is 1/2 inch seam allowance, I believe. Let me just check that in case I'm wrong. Okay, yes, it is 1/2 inch. So yeah, I'm going to just baste this at a 1/4 inch. Okay, so here we go, our slip pocket. Like that. These magnets are so strong. Okay, I hope it doesn't pull apart. It shouldn't. There we go. Right, that's done. Now I'm going to do what will now be the gusset. So I'm getting my bottom exterior and my side panel exterior, and I'm going to put that together. Okay, so we need to do right sides together. And I'm just going to do this end also, just so I can sew it all in one go. Okay, and now I'm going to sew this at 1/2 inch seam allowance, which is quite nice. It's got a big seam allowance, which is great. Okay, so you want to fold this seam into where the bottom is. I believe that's what you do. Let's have a look. Yep. So you want to fold it into where the bottom is, like that, and top stitch on this bottom panel here, this one. Okay, so this is what you want. You want to do it on this bottom panel here. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Fold it in. It wants to just stay up, but show it who is boss. I think it's because I also have the fleece, and my fleece is not out of the seam allowance, so let's hope I don't regret that at the end. Okay, so that is done. So this essentially is now the gusset. I'm going to mark my centers while I'm here, might as well. So I'm matching up this kind of like this seam that I've just created pinch and pinch and pinch until I get to the end, and then I'm going to snip a little bit away at an angle, maybe a little bit bigger actually, because I do have a healthy seam allowance. Those are my centers marked. Right, I can put this away. I'm also going to do that to the lining. It's the same seam allowance and everything, and the same way of sewing it. So we need to do right sides together. Okay, so that is now done. This is now the gusset. I'm going to do the same thing and match those seams I've just created, like that. So these seams here, I'm matching it on both sides, and then along the top, pinch, pinch, pinch and pinch, and then snip. Like that. Okay, and then the other side. Okay, so our interior gusset is done. So we are now on to the assembly of the main panel and the gusset. Okay, so we need to do right sides together. So let me do this side first. Right sides together, and we need to match up our center marks on all sides. Let me flip this over. So we're matching our centers here. Okay, and clip that in place. I'm going to be sewing with the gusset side up. Yes, I will be. So we'll add in a few clips, make sure everything is lining up nicely. Right, so I've added a few clips where the center is and either side of it. Now I'm going to bring this end up first before I clip all the way around. We need to match up this end here, and it might be easier for me to go flip it this way. This bag seems really like weighty, and I think it might be the vinyl I use and all of the fleece. Just seems really heavy. Anyway, okay. I drive myself crazy trying to match it up exactly. I don't know if that's necessary, but that's what I do. So now we're going to clip it all around, and I may need to add some snips to the curved part, but let's see how we go. I'm adding lots of clips at this part because I do not want it to move in any way. I'm going to add a few snips. So I'm just going to show how I do it on one side, because this is going to take me a while to do. I'm just going to add a few clips to my gusset. So I'm just clipping about, I would say, between 1/8 and 1/4 inch deep, and I'm just spacing it out, maybe about 3/8. So just a few snips, and the snips are going to help the gusset now. It should help it kind of just, okay, so my battery died again. So now that should help the gusset spread around that area. So add clips. Okay, so this is what it looks like once it's done. I'm going to now do the other side off camera, because as you can see it takes me a while, and I've sped that part up, by the way. So I'm just going to do this side and be back to actually sew the two pieces together. Okay, so I am all pinned, or clipped I should say. I'm going to now sew this at 1/2 inch seam allowance. That is what the inside looks like. It looks good. I like it. Probably can't see very well. So I'm going to do the same thing now with the other panel. So matching up right sides together, matching the centers. I'm thinking I might go around. I'll do that after. I'm going to go around again and sew just a little bit away from my original stitch, so maybe about 1/8 away, just to reinforce it. I think, yeah, I will do that. So I'll just sew this bit on, and then we'll clip this bit on rather. So it's pretty much the same thing I did before. Match the centers and then the tops, and then sew it together. So yeah, I'm gonna clip that in place and come back. Okay, so I have clipped that in place, and now I'm going to sew around it at 1/2 inch. Okay, so let's take a look inside, make sure there's no puckering going on, and you can't really see, it's a bit dark, but I don't see any puckering, which is good. So I'm just going to, like I said, I'm going to go around my first stitch on both pieces. So I'm going to do that off camera because you don't need to see me do that. That is boring. We only want to see the interesting bits, don't we? Well, if you feel you would like me to show those bits, please let me know, but I feel it's boring. So, yeah, I'm gonna do it off camera. Okay, so I have gone around and done a second stitch. So I'm going to now trim away the bulk of the seam allowance, but I'm not going to trim it at the top here. So I'm just using my pinking shears to take that down about 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so that's what it looks like. So we leave the tops, we don't trim down these top bits because we're going to open this out later so that we can add our lining. So I'm just going to do the other side, and I'm going to do that off camera. Whenever anything is a repeat, I'm just going to do it off camera because already the video is going to be long anyway, so it's just a repeat of what I've just done. Okay, so I just trimmed around that. Very painful on my hands because I had several layers to get through. So I've just pinned my interior main panel and my gusset, just like I did with the exterior. I didn't want to have to do that on camera, and it's the same thing. I'm sewing at 1/2 inch seam allowance, right sides together. Okay, so that is the liner done, or one side of it. Just checking for puckers. No puckers. We are good to go. Right. With my panel that has the zipper overlay, okay, when I sewed it in, I did not sew the bottom of the zipper pocket because what I want to do is pull the lining through this opening here. Now, it doesn't say to do that in the pattern, it tells you to do it completely differently, but I've used this method in another bag, so I want to try it, see if it works. So what I'm going to do is I'm still going to leave the turning hole that it says to leave in the pattern, because it tells you to leave a turning hole. So I'm just going to match these centers here. Like that, just like I've done, right sides facing, just like I've done before. Right sides facing. And then I'm going to leave a turning hole. Now, my turning hole I'm going to leave here where this seam is. So I'm going to put a little mark there so I don't sew past that, because knowing me, I probably would, so I won't sew past there. I'm going to leave an opening. So I'm going to clip as normal. Clip as normal and snip around the corners and just sew, but leave a gap. So I'm going to sew up onto this point here, and then I'm going to stop and then sew from this point up. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I don't know if you saw that. Sew from this point around. So this space here will be left open. So I'm just going to clip all this in place and sew, because it's, again, it's a repeat. It's a repeat, and once I've done it, I'm going to actually, again, like I did with the main, I'm going to trim down this seam about 1/4 inch. So I'll be back once I've done all of that. Okay, so my lining is done. I have the opening here and the opening here. I hope that's going to be, let me unzip this, ready to pull it through. So I'll be pulling through this lining through here. Hopefully that will be manageable. So that's all done, gusset's done. No puckering. So let's move on. So I'm now going to sew the handles on. Like I said in the beginning, the pattern has 2 handles, but I'm only doing, I just need to snip this extra bit off, I don't need it, so it's even. I'm only doing 1 handle. So it says to, I'm just checking the pattern here. With the exterior of the bag wrong side out, tuck the handle inside. Okay, so I need to tuck the handle in the bag like so, and then match the raw edge. Now, because I am funny about precision, I'm actually going to mark the center of this. Yeah, I am. But I'm marking it with a pen. I'm not making any snips. I'm just gonna mark. Because we do love a precision. Well, I do. Okay. Where's the lid for the pen? It's over here. Right, I'm also going to mark the center of my my handle here. And this is just being extra. This is not necessary, but I prefer doing this than doing it by eye, because knowing me, I'll probably get it wrong. Okay, so marking this side as well, just roughly, I think. It just helps. Okay, so I'm going to now tuck that in the bag, make sure it's not twisted, and then I'm going to match up the marks and the raw edge like that, and clip that in place, and then do the same thing here to make sure the handle is not twisted. Okay, so it's not twisted, so that would be a disaster. Right, and then again match my center marks roughly and my raw edge, and clip that in place. Right, I'm going to now baste this at 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. So it's going to take a lot of kind of squishing like that. And I'm going to backstitch here quite a few times to secure that in place. Okay, so now I'm going to turn this bag the right side out. Here we have it. Now I need to get my liner. My liner is wrong side out, and I'm going to put my exterior into my liner. So I need to decide where I want that to be. I think I want my slip pocket to be, my zip pocket to be at the back. So I'm going to, do I want it at the back? Decisions. Yes, I do want it at the back. So I'm going to have it facing this way. And then I'm going to tuck this in here. Hopefully you can see that. I'm putting my exterior right side out, sorry, into my interior, which is wrong side out. Okay, like that. Now I believe this needs to go in also, so my strap needs to go in. Make sure it's not twisted. Right, so something like this. I know it's quite hard to see because the bag is quite a big bag. So like that. My strap is in. Right, now I have to match my centers on my exterior and my lining first, and clip that in place. And then on the other side as well, match the centers rather, because it's more than one center mark. And I'm just adding a couple of clips either side. Excuse any noise that you might hear in the background. It's my neighbours. Okay, Right, now that's done, I need to then match these seams. So we need to put seam to seam, seam to seam, and then spread out that seam here. We're going to spread it out and clip that in place. Okay, and then match all of this together. Okay, so we match those seams together and then clip that in place. So I'm just going to show you one part and then I'm going to go off and do the other bits because it's quite awkward not having enough. It's quite a big bag, so I'm often out of shot. Right, let's match up those edges like that. So the important bit is matching up the centers and the seams. Okay, because you want everything to be kind of symmetrical. So, like this. So I'm going to do the other side off camera and then I'll be back to sew around this, and I think it's at 1/2 inch seam allowance. Okay, so I thought I would bring you to the opposite side of my machine so that you can see how I sew this together. So I'm going to sew from the inside and I'm sewing at 1/2 inch. So let's just try and get that in there. It's going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky, but we'll get it in. Okay, so we're back on this side and I'm now going to pull the bag through. Wish me luck. I'm gonna need it. Okay, so far this is what the bag looks like. Okay, like that. Move it back a bit. This is what it looks like. I'm going to play with it a bit more because obviously it's not a, for example, this needs to be fixed so that the edges are really nice for when I top stitch it. So I'm just going to play with that a little bit more, and then what I think I'm going to do is take you back on this side, the other side, to do the top stitching, and then I will finish off the seam. Yeah, I had to have a little think there. So yeah, I'm gonna keep working on this so it's nice and straight. So next time you see me, I will be on the other side. Okay, so I have clipped all around the top of the bag, and then I've turned my bag wrong side out. The reason why I've done that is so that I can do a nice top stitch, because I don't have a cylinder on, so this is what you have to do. Yeah, so let me start. I'm gonna start here, I think, just where this handle is, and I'm going to top stitch at 1/4 inch. So let's start somewhere friendly. That's not so bulky, right here. Get it under. There we go. Good. I'm going to turn this back right sides out for the final time. Okay, so this is what it looks like so far with the top stitch in. Now I just need to pull the lining through, and yeah, so I'm going to pull the lining through my zipper pocket. Hopefully that should be okay. Let's see. Let's see if that works. The material I've used are quite thick, so I mean, it's lovely to sew with, but a bit taxing on the hands when you need to turn it. Okay, I can see it. I can see it. Right, so I just need to get those two bits and sew them together. Right, here we go. Here we go. So I found it. All the black is kind of confusing me, but yeah, here we go. So I'm just going to match these together and then sew this closed at 1/2 inch, and then I will do the zipper pocket. I need to match my centers actually. That's what I needed to do. And then keep going, keep pinning. Hopefully it all matches nicely. Yes, it does. Lovely. I love when things match beautifully. Here we go. Right. Make sure everything is out of the way. Yeah. And now I'm going to sew this closed. Right, we need to push everything. I don't want to snag anything that I shouldn't be sewing. Right, here we go. Push it back through the zipper pocket. going to make sure it's all lined up properly. This is the final chance to do any poking out. Okay, now I'm going to pull this liner out. And sew it together at an 1/8 seam allowance. So I'm just going to clip them together. And we will be done with this bag. Okay, and that is the bag done. It looks lovely. I love it. I absolutely love it. Look at that. And we have a snap closure. Snap in place. Oh, look. Look how nice that is. I'm going to do an possibly an overhead shot so you can get to see this bag, but it turned out great. I love it, and I think the new owner is going to love it too. She would have received this bag when she's watching this video, so this was for you. Right, so I'm going to go over to an overhead shot so you can see the features of the bag a little bit better. Okay, see you there at the craft table. So here it is. Here is the Ethel tote bag up and close. So it's quite a big bag, I would say. Here is our slip pocket with magnetic closure. It's huge pocket. And then we have the insides, which we have slip pockets. Okay, so we have 2 slip pockets in there, nice and deep, goes all the way to the bottom of the bag. You can fit plenty in there. And then you have a zipper pocket with customized zipper overlay, and that also is nice and deep. You could fit loads in there. So that is the interior of the bag. Here's a closer look of how it looks inside. I know it's hard to see with the black, but it's nice and deep. And there's plenty of room. And you have the magnetic closure and your handle. Oops, which I've just used to hit the camera. But that is the bag. I think it turned out really lovely. I love it. I really do. I would love to make this in other colours. Here's the bottom where the gusset is. I think I did a good job. My stitching is getting better and straighter. Okay, I think Go Slow is the name of the game. Go slow. There's probably a way to put a zipper closure, but I don't know how to do that. That would be nice with a zipper closure, or even a flap. I'll look into it, see if I can do it. But there she is, the Ethel tote bag. Thank you for watching. Bye. So, if you found this video interesting or useful, please like and subscribe if you haven't yet done so, and turn on your post notification bell and make sure you check all so you never miss an upload from me. Please feel free to interact with the comment section by leaving any comments, questions, or any suggestions about any videos that I should do in the comment section below. You're also welcome to join our Facebook group. It's Craft Junkie Studio, and I will leave the link in the description box below. And as always, don't have a good day, have an amazing day. Till next time, bye.